And welcome in, everybody, to the High Low Sports Podcast, the very first one of the year. We appreciate y'all for joining us, and hopefully you all had a safe and happy New Year's Eve celebration. It is the start of 2025, and it is DJ, joined as always by my co-host Kelcey. And today, Kelcey, we're breaking out the fancy suits in your case as well. Here, we're going to be giving out some hardware today, as we're going with our awards for 2024 as we head into the new year.
Yeah, it's been a fun year. Brand new year, 364 and a quarter more days to go until 2026, which means the World Cup is going to be in the U.S. But that's all right, because in the meantime, we got a whole bunch more to get to in 2025. But before we get there, we got to look back at all the fun from 2024, because there's been a lot of things that have happened this year, and a lot of people forget about half of the year, basically.
You know what? I don't blame them. It's kind of hard to keep track of things because it's been literally a year since we started this one. The one thing that is true, though, is we started the year with Michigan beating Alabama, and we ended the year with Michigan beating Alabama. So you know what? Some things change as they stay the same. But as we get ready to jump into this award show, we're first going to give a shout out to our sponsor, and that is our good friends over at SeatGeek. If you're new here and you don't know, go ahead and use SeatGeek. Use code BellyUpSports for your first purchase at SeatGeek. Get $20 off whether you're going to a concert, a sporting event, anything that requires tickets. Get yourself a free, well, not a free, get yourself $20 off your first purchase, code BellyUpSports. And we are here. It is time now. Best of the year 2024. We're giving out some hardware, taking a look at some of our categories here so people know what to expect. We're going to go with the best champion of the year, the best team of the year. So we're going to keep those two things separate. Best male athlete, best female athlete, and of course, the goofiest goober of them all, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. So some people are going to have to be put on blast in the most PG way we could possibly do it.
Well, it's going to be slightly PG at least. So there's going to be no cuss words. So I guess we fall into the PG category that way. By the way, nice suit change, very Batman-esque.
Superman, Batman, I was ready to go. I couldn't let you one-up me on our own show. Like, I had to at least I had to look the part. We're giving out hardware. I got to look like I deserve to be getting out hardware. And speaking of hardware, too, that's where we're going to start things off, is that teams that picked up some hardware this year. We're going to go with the best champions so far of the season. We each are giving out our own set of hardware, so it's not going to be necessarily we have to fight and argue over it. So we're going to start with mine. I have 4 nominees across the board that I think made the top 4, and let's take a look at. We got the Boston Celtics, the NBA champions. Alex Pereira, the UFC light heavyweight champion. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the MLB champions. And the UConn Huskies, the men's basketball team, the men's basketball champions. These are the top 4, I think, from the champions category. And giving out the winner for the best champion of the year, we are giving it to the UConn Huskies. So the men back-to-back, the men's UConn Huskies will be taking home the best champion. And I think they've pretty much well-deserved this. They're the favorite from the beginning. They ran it all the way through, virtually unopposed, to the point where they were trying to get Hurley as head coach of the Lakers, but instead he just got a super bag from UConn, and they're in position to possibly run for a 3-peat. But UConn men's Husky, DJ's winner for best champion of 2024.
I respect it. UConn's men's basketball is a good team. Great champion winner. It happens every year, right, where you have this one champion that's maybe a surprise in the grand scheme of things. UConn last year in last year's March Madness tournament, just really, it was their tournament to win at the end of the day. And that was a big piece of it. You got to give credit where credit's due, and winning March Madness is never an easy thing. So, yeah, definitely understand why you went with UConn personally.
This was one where there was absolutely no surprise, and there was a lot of champions to choose from, and not as many surprises, not a whole lot of, oh my goodness, how did they get here? But there were some good ones. And Kelcey, you have a different set of nominees you're going to run us through for your best champion of 2024.
That I do. So looking at my champions right now, and let me see. There we go. There we are. We're back again. My nominees for the best champion of 2024. I went a little more international with my flair. I did stay in the U.S. for a couple of these. Boston Celtics and the South Carolina women's basketball teams. I just mentioned March Madness, how much of a struggle it is to win a championship. Well, in the women's side, it's even more impressive when especially Dawn Staley and that team continue to dominate the way they do. But the Boston Celtics, obviously, still up there. But then here's the international flair. We have the Champions League winner, along with the Super Cup winner, and much to Hector's demise, despite he hates the fact that Super Cup's a thing, as well as the Club World Cup winner, International Club Competition winner for FIFA, the Real Madrid legends over there. And then probably one of the best stories of last year, I mentioned, teams that just seem to have a run at it. Bayer Leverkusen, 1 win away from going undefeated through all competitions. They did win the Bundesliga, though, and they did so in undefeated fashion. So, yeah, those are my nominees. And for me, the champion's going to be Bayer Leverkusen. I just said it. Undefeated all the way, all year round. They lose one game. It's the Europa Champions League final. Not the UEFA Champions League, not the top dogs, but Europa League is still impressive nonetheless. That's where you lose your one game all season. Not a bad run at it, especially for Xabi Alonso taking over that team. Let's just say they haven't been that team in a long time in the Bundesliga. It has been Bayern Munich and Bayern Munich only. A couple times Dortmund's up there, but Leverkusen showing exactly how good they can be on the international stage. And so, yeah, I got to give it to a team that literally almost went undefeated throughout all competitions last year. It was absolutely impressive.
Absolutely. And on top of that, as you mentioned, basically unopposed during their playoff and championship run as well, too. Like they one hiccup along the way early, but a near undefeated season. And then when it came playoff time and the series and crunch time, didn't miss a beat. Basically just lever cruised all the way in.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It set a record number of points, by the way, to unseat Bayern Munich from championship contention. So it's definitely an impressive run nonetheless.
Absolutely. So that is what we have for Kelcey's winner for best champion. And that's a good way to segue into our next categories, which is the best team. So slightly different in that they didn't necessarily have to win a championship, although it definitely helps. But at the same time, they may have not been the best champion, but they were the best well-rounded team. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at who I have for nominees here. And for me, we're going to go ahead and once again revisit the Boston Celtics back in action. Same with the Los Angeles Dodgers. We got Michigan football making an appearance too. 15-0, ran their way right through. And then the South Carolina women's basketball team as well. And as we take a look at the scorecard for best team, the winner of that, we are looking at the Boston Celtics. So the NBA champion Boston Celtics, 60-plus wins, dominant basically through the entire playoff run. I think they lost 3 or 4 games throughout the whole thing. Absolutely cruised through it. Maybe it's 5 games, but clearly best team top to bottom. Didn't miss a beat. 12 deep in the rotation. Incredible team, incredible season, and they're well on their way to possibly running it back again. While going in as arguably one of the 2 or 3 favorites, and just ramrodded the regular season. Didn't even flinch the whole way through.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just had them in my best champions, so obviously you know my opinion on the Boston Celtics last year. They were a great team all around. There were some pieces and parts of it that maybe some people didn't enjoy, but you got to say top 4 guys that are all something at one point in time last year, whether it be all-star, all-NBA, all-defense, they were all there. It was impressive to watch the Celtics last year on their run, and Joe Mazzulla continues to show why he might be one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA. It's crazy to think that he's underrated, but in the grand scheme of it, he might actually just be, which is absolutely blasphemous to almost say out loud.
And you throw on top of that, too, who was supposed to be their third best player, missed a good chunks here and there throughout the season and a lot of the playoff run as well. Only seen him in bits and spurts, and when he was there, oh my goodness. So we're going with the Boston Celtics as the best team of 2024 for me. Kelcey, you're up, and where it will be similar, it will be very, very different.
It's always a little bit different for me as we get through it. I'm going to throw up my teams here as my nominees. Again, I just said Real Madrid. Yeah, you win the Champions League. You get a bit of a nod as one of the best teams in 2024. But I'm also staying on the international stage for the Olympic champion in basketball. That is the USA men's basketball team. That was not the team that played in the FIBA championship. Let's be very clear about that. This is the team that went to the Olympics and dominated in France. So this is LeBron, Steph Curry, that squad. This is not the squad that was led by Tyrese Halliburton. And then on top of that, I do have the Celtics up here as well for best team of 2024, as everything you just mentioned. Absolutely agree with all of that. And then I have the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. And with that said, without further ado, the champion is... Yeah, that's right. Kansas City Chiefs, particularly with the yellow jersey. Obviously for obvious reasons if you guys have watched any of the championships recently. But this team is actually one of the best teams all around. You have Travis Kelcey, you have Patty Mahomes, you have a running back core who Isaiah Pacheco this last year was absolutely outstanding. That offensive line was great. They maybe bent the rules a little bit for some people's opinions. But you know what? They won a championship. Andy Reid, the Walrus, the Red Walrus, whatever you want to call him. He is a fantastic guy. He's a fantastic coach. He's leader of this team, and it's hard to not say they weren't one of the best teams of 2024, and they don't continue to be so throughout the rest of 2024 as we got into the new season.
I'm honestly thinking you just pick the Chiefs so you could put KC's winner with KC. I think that's the main reason we were going here. This was so that the graphics guy could have a little bit of fun.
I might possibly be. I mean, full caveat, a full openness on this one is I did have a Kansas City Royals hat as a kid growing up because it did have the letters KC on it. So I'm not going to disagree completely. But there's also a guy on this team named Kelcey, so it's always worth mentioning too.
On top of that, you throw on the voodoo magic, and you know what? Best team of 2024. They had supernatural powers going for them on top of it. So not only did they have arguably the best roster, they had supernatural funk and a little bit of Swift support, you could call it.
A little bit of Swift support. That's a good way to put it.
Absolutely. And we've talked about the best teams and the best champions. Now we're going to go to some individual awards. Now we're going to go and start with the best male athlete of the year, and we're going to go and take a look at who I have nominated for some of our guys for this category. In the top left, we got Alex Pereira, UFC light heavyweight champion, Nikola Jokic, NBA MVP, Patrick Mahomes, 2-time Super Bowl MVP now, and Shohei Ohtani, the do-everything superstar from Major League Baseball and on the world champion Dodgers. So taking a look now, we have our best male athlete of the year for DJ, and the winner is going to be... We're heading to the octagon. It will be Alex Pereira, UFC light heavyweight champion. 3 title fights in the year, 2 of them on short notices, 3 title defenses, all of them finishes, didn't even miss a beat. A combined less than the full 5 rounds, too, if I'm not mistaken. Incredible run. The fact that he saved 2 events on short notice because of tomfoolery, whatever you want to call it, with people pulling out and not showing up. Rolls right in there, gets 2 multiple knockouts of the night. Incredible run he has been on. And he's doing it at almost 40 years old, a latecomer to the game. So, Alex Pereira, you are the best male athlete of 2024.
Hey, yeah, I got to say, looking at pictures of this dude, terrifying. Watching him fight, twice as terrifying. Seeing him flex during his weigh-ins was the most terrifying thing I saw all of 2024. So, absolutely one of the best male athletes of 2024 for sure. No doubt that he is a guy that stepped up in the biggest moments for the UFC last year to be able to continue some of these great championship fights they had on the docket, and not just take over, but really, you got to say, made them his own in a lot of rights, and it was impressive performances every time.
Arguably the biggest star in the company right now, arguably the biggest fighter in the world right now that is active, at least for sure. And on top of that, you throw in there, it's the type of, you only get a couple of times to perform each year. And he did all of that with multiple on short notice and performed in and performed out. He didn't get a bye week or a week to be like, oh, we had a rough week, we'll get him next week. So that's what we're looking at for best male athlete of 2024. Kelcey, if you have the exact same 4 as me, we might have to end the show right now.
I don't have the same 4 as you. No, instead, I went a little different route. We'll take a look at my nominees here. And while, DJ, you have that, I changed it up a little bit. I have Scottie Scheffler, the all-world golfer, gold medalist as well. One of the most dominant golfers in the game this last year. Shohei Ohtani, despite the betting allegations, he continues to beat the odds and posted the best single season by a hitter in the history of the MLB with a 50-50 season. Absolutely amazing to see. Vinny Jr. should have won a Ballon d'Or, did not. He got slighted, but he won literally every other best male athlete in the World of Soccer award last year. And then Steph Curry, the night during the Olympics, the most iconic moment of probably last year's Olympics games from that standpoint. And yes, I do have a guy in a orange jumpsuit in my nominee list here, but it's okay because he is still one of the best golfers in the world. But with that said, guys, the award for my best male athlete of 2024 goes to Shohei. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. Shohei Ohtani's impressive year was just that. Dude didn't even get to pitch and still posted one of the best all-time years for a player in the history of baseball. It's going to be amazing to see when he comes back from Tommy John. As much as I hate the Dodgers, and I hate to give props to Dodgers, it's hard not to say Shohei was that dude this year. For me, Shohei Ohtani is the best male athlete of 2024.
You can't really go wrong with that. As you mentioned, the talk was how effective he's going to be without being able to be the Swiss Army knife as a pitcher and a hitter. Well, when he only had the focus on one, he was arguably the best to ever do it. You got a championship on top of it. What was it, like 50-50 club as well? Some things that are rarely ever done. Just
50 home runs, 50 steals.
Exactly. It's absolutely sensational. Never thought when he was pitching, I never looked at him as like a true quote unquote guy you expect to be getting steals like that, not like a burner, somebody with that kind of timing and takeoff. Well, now that that's his focus, he decided instead of pitching, I'm going to get bases in another way. So Shohei Ohtani is a very good option. He pretty much hit the over on everything for better and for worse. So,
Yeah.
considering what was expected coming in, he overpromised and over-delivered.
Yeah, it was an impressive year, 50-50. It's never been done before. Absolutely got to give the props. And this is something we said before the season. I specifically called this out, that if he's not splitting time, he better be one of the best hitters in the game to warrant that type of a contract. And, well, it just turns out he's the best hitter to ever play in the game. And so that's just a microcosm of how good of a year he had. But, yeah, it's absolutely been impressive. Now just continue to beat the betting allegations. We'll be all right, Shohei.
You know what? Or you know what? Don't even beat and just kind of roll into them and keep doing what you're doing and just kind of ignore them. Just keep doing what you're doing right now. But you can't go wrong with Shohei. And now that's going to take us into our next category, which is going to be Best Female Athlete of the Year. And now looking at my nominees for Best Female Athlete of 2024, we have Asia Wilson, WNBA MVP, Caitlin Clark, Summer McIntosh, and Simone Biles, a very, very competitive group with some outstanding athletes. And taking a look, and the winner for DJ's Best Female Athlete of the Year, we are going with Caitlin Clark. Not a huge surprise here. And before anyone jumps on me and say she's a rookie, this is of the year, which includes what she did in college basketball, considering half of college basketball takes place in 2024, when she brought home an entire smorgasbord of awards, including best player in college basketball for like the second or third year in a row. Got all the way to the national championship game with Iowa, which is not a very well-known powerhouse necessarily for basketball. Losing to that South Carolina team we mentioned earlier is one of the best teams. And then you go into the NBA, Rookie of the Year, drags we can say mediocre team at this point, considering you had the number one pick in back-to-back years. I think that's fair to say, to the playoffs, and one of the better rookie seasons we've seen in WNBA history on top. So Caitlin Clark, Female Athlete of the Year for 2024. Before anyone jumps down our neck, remember this is for the year of 2024, which she gets the quote-unquote unfair advantage of getting college and WNBA since their seasons are basically back-to-back like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an impressive year for Caitlin Clark all around. Say what you will about her not being whatever or privileged, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I don't care anymore about all that. But there's been so much talk around her in the WNBA that she has, I won't say single-handedly, but she has helped to propel the WNBA forward light years from where they were. And that's not a small thing to do. It's happened in very small steps with Kelcey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, even going back, to Diana Taurasi or even Sky Moore along the way. Or Skylar Diggins as well. Those are. But what Caitlin Clark did was it transcended what you expected. So beyond just what's on the court, off the court, her impact as well as a female athlete was very impressive. I totally understand why you went this way. And by the way, we both in our last two picks in male athlete for me, female athlete for you, agreed with the AP on their best male and female athlete of 2024.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. So the AP was right. This is their twice a day. And yes, I'm saying they're the broken clock, not us. But Kelcey, we'll see if you agree with me and the AP for Female Athlete of the Year, or if you decide to shake things a little bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely shaking things up a little bit here. But Caitlin Clark is in my nominees, so maybe not completely. I went very international flavor here with the award nominees. I have Simone Biles as well, the all-around GOAT in gymnastics. No, don't fight me about this. She just is what she is. 5 foot nothing and can dunk a ball. That's all I got to say. She has to do a backflip to do it, but still impressive. Caitlin Clark, absolutely agreed everything we just said. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, nobody knows what she does in the hurdles. Please just go look her up. 5 straight world record race times this year alone, including breaking her own record 4 out of those 5 times to set the new record. It's been impressive to see all the way across the board, just in even qualifications in the actual Olympics. It was impressive. And now this last nominee, she didn't win at gold medal during the Olympics, but she helped to propel women's rugby in the U.S. further forward. It's Ilona Mayer. Absolutely fantastic story. She has been all around social media leading up to the Olympics, all around it after the Olympics, being on Dancing with the Stars. But she herself is one of the best performers of the Olympics, just for the women's rugby team, and has helped to propel the women's rugby in the U.S. further forward along its path. And that's, I feel like, something worth qualifying for Best Female Athlete of the Year. So with that said, my award goes to Simone Biles. She's the GOAT. I just don't know. I don't have anything else to say other than she's the GOAT. Look at those medals around her neck. goes along with so many other medals she's won in her career. She continues to be the best to ever do it. And I don't know what's going to stop her other than her retirement. That's like the only thing that's stopping her at this point in time. It is Michael Phelps-esque as far as how dominant she can be in the gymnastics arena. So it's absolutely a Simone Biles for me.
Yeah, absolutely incredible run in Paris as well. And this is coming off the last Olympics where she wasn't at her absolute best as well too. So she bounces back with a fury, to say the least. So her 2 of the last 3 runs have been absolutely incredible. So amazing that she made Hard Knocks, and she was the best part of Hard Knocks for the Chicago Bears before the season as well. She managed to carry a sporting program for a sport she doesn't participate in. So I think no argument here. Best female athlete at 24, definitely in that conversation. No argument here. And you mentioned too, what's going to stop her besides herself at this point? She's still young enough. She wants to go back again in 2028. She can go right back in there and be on this list again if we have this award show in 2028.
Yeah. By the way, single-handedly has revolutionized the leotard game in the gymnastics arena. If anybody doesn't know, she has her own brand, the Goat Apparel brand, that has been adapted by every major college athletic program. So you'll see a little goat on the logo on the leotards. So not only is she dominant in the competition, she's dominant around the competition as far as now outfitting these athletes with top-notch apparel, not just whatever they want to throw at them like it was in the past decades.
Exactly. You beat them, you get them looking stylish, and then you beat them again. She's absolutely changing the game.
It's the Jordan mentality, right? You got to beat the person wearing your shoes.
That's the best way to do it as well, right? So that's best female athlete there for Kelcey. Now we got our last and final category, which is the one Kelcey's been looking forward to. 2024 is goofiest goober of them all. And unfortunately, we were only allowed to pick 4. So there's only so many to go through because there was a lot of options, honestly. The more we looked at it, the more, my goodness, there were a lot of options. We tried to keep this one lighthearted and not pick people who were in serious trouble as well. We didn't want to touch that and make fun of it by calling it a goober, because there were some that were much worse than goober. But we're going to go and take a look at who I nominated as our goofiest goobers of the year. Starting from, we got Sean Strickland, UFC fighter, for obvious reasons. Tyson Fury, boxer, for Tyson Furyisms. Joel Embiid for Joel Embiidisms. And Colts GM Chris Ballard, who, well, we've got, you don't have to listen to us for that one as well. That's been a rant that has been very long ongoing. So taking a look now at our goober of the year for 2024, and the winner is... We're taking the low-hanging fruit from the tallest man on the group. We got Joel Embiid for 2024's goofiest goober of the year. You have played in 11 of 30 games so far. You've been ejected from multiples. You're having really low numbers for your season. You have been as loud as ever. Meanwhile, your quote-unquote competition, the person you're going head-to-head with, your rival Jokic, has 3 MVPs in 4 years, with the one being the one that you basically campaigned for harder than you did for everything else. So Joel Embiid, we saw him going after referees in abundance as well. The Sixers they're starting to come back to they're starting to look at least respectable now at 13-17, but they were like 1-9 at one point. Part of that is his inavailability and his getting ejected out of games. So for 2024, we're going to give the goofiest goober so far to Joel Embiid. But boy, were there a lot of good options. You can make a case for everyone I offered up as a nominee. Plus, you could say that there's at least 1,000 others that could be in this category because it is a goofy goober year.
Yeah, definitely. But there's at least 4 more. And DJ, I'm not gonna stay with too long with Joel Embiid because I'm really excited to share my nominees for Goofy Goober. So I'm sorry to cut yours short, but I'm gonna get straight into mine, man. It's been a fun year. If anybody doesn't know, first of all, Micah Richard talking about a team called FC Brest. Yes, and I'm not kidding. That's how it's pronounced. It's a French team. If nobody has seen it yet, go check out the YouTube clips. It's hilarious. So Micah Richards, my first nominee for Goofiest Goober of 2024. Angel Reese, because she can't put the ball in the basket, but she gets great rebounds. And she knows how to rebound from looking like an embarrassment on the court by parlaying it into a great success off the court in the media empire there. So Angel Reese, number 2 for the Goofiest Goober. Number 3 is Ray Gunn in the Olympics, Australian breakdancer. Yeah, I have no words for that one. And the last but not least is the famous Jameis, crab legs himself, Jameis Winston. I mean, just look at that picture. Do I need to run it any further than that? He looks like a goober just in that picture alone. And without further ado, my goofiest goober of 20. Yeah, it's Ray Gunn. There's no nice words to say, so DJ, I'm going to let video speak for itself if that's all right with you.
let it flex. I don't got words either.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. Maybe someday you'll have it your way. Maybe someday it'll all work out. Until then, nope, a nope, a nope, a nope, definitely nope.
First of all, let me thank Watch Mojo for letting me download that TikTok and use it on the show. I added my own song to the background there, so copyright doesn't come and get us. But I couldn't find a better song that would pair with that anymore. If you guys don't know, I spent about an hour laughing at that while it took me 5 minutes to get everything prepped for that. And easily goofiest goober of all of 2024 for me. That was just an embarrassment to the sport of breakdancing, and it's a reason it's not going to be in the Olympics anymore.
I gotta say, it was one of the most memorable Olympics I could think of for sure. Between that, the shooting, the guy just pulling out the gun, not even any of the equipment, casually shooting with his hand in his pocket. Like, it was the most memeable Olympics I've ever seen. And that one definitely takes the cake. It was a fun, unique, and in the nicest way possible, goofiest goober of the year for sure.
Oh, God. I almost want to watch it again. But I'm not going to spare anybody that again. If you guys want to watch it, just put the episode on replay. You'll find it again.
Absolutely. This has done it for our 2024 awards show. A short one today. We just had a handful of nominees and categories. It was an absolute blast looking back on 2024 and looking ahead to 2025. A lot of fun stuff happening in the sports world, a lot of stuff happening here. And once again, an opportunity to say thank you all for hanging out with us, spending some time with us over these last handful of years. It's been a pleasure to do it and a pleasure to keep going on. So be sure to let us know in the comments below too, which awards you agreed with, which ones you think we missed out on. We want to know who your goofiest goober of the year was too, because there are so many opportunities. We probably missed out on some very obvious ones. There are some really good ones out there. So let us know down below. We once again do appreciate you all for hanging out with us for another year in what goes on in the world of sports. Big things coming in 2025. Hopefully you'll see. Hopefully we'll be able to hang out with you guys a lot more throughout the year and talk about what goes on in the wide world of sports.
Absolutely. Cannot wait, guys. We appreciate you all as well for tuning in every single day, every single week. It's been a lot of long runs in 5 years now, DJ. We've been doing this, going on our 6th now. So we love every moment of it. It's been a great ride, and we want to keep it going forward. And yeah, stay tuned for some announcements later on, maybe this month or next in the new year about what we're going to be doing. So a lot of fun things happening for 2025. Can't wait for you guys to join us on the journey. As always, be sure to like if you liked it. If you hated it, send it to your enemies. If you liked it, send it to your friends. Like and subscribe as always. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you again next week.